Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and iOS 16.3.1 and iOS 16.4 Beta 1 released this past week, and there's a lot to talk about. There's more features in iOS 16.4 that have been found since the initial What's New video. We'll also talk about the experience of iOS 16.3.1, battery life, and much more. Now the first thing is new features in iOS 16.4. In Music, Apple redid Music quite a bit, and if you're playing a song, let me go ahead and turn this down, you'll actually see a new waveform within the list of songs here. So you'll see there's a little waveform there, and if I bring in the same song on a different device here, we'll clear that, and it's playing. The waveform animation is slightly different. It's not a huge change, but it's something that's a little different. Also in Music, if we press and hold on a song and maybe add it to a playlist, I'll just select a playlist here, we'll add again, and you'll see a new animation at the bottom that says one song added. It's similar to the new animations when you favorite an artist and so on. Also, searching within a playlist is a little bit different. So if we go into our browse, or library rather, we'll go into our playlists, and then if we go into a playlist, pull down, it actually blurs it a little bit. Let me see if I can show you that here. It actually, on some, is blurring this background if there is one. Let me flip it to dark mode, see if we can see that a little bit better. Maybe we'll go to this one. Again, pull down to search. Some are seeing it actually blur the background completely. I'm not seeing it here, but some have actually said they see it. Now with iOS 16.4, Apple is adding Unicode 15 standard emoji. I showed these before, and there's a bunch of different ones, such as shaking face, the pink heart, blue heart, but one I missed is actually a blackbird. Let me change this to light mode so you can see this a little bit better. There's a little blackbird down there, and you have to actually put black space bird or else it doesn't show up. So if you do that, you'll see the emoji and you can add it. So that's just another one of the new ones. Also within Messages, Apple has now added rich previews to different links from Mastodon. So recently, Phil Schiller left Twitter and he went over to Mastodon. That's probably why this is showing here. But we have rich link previews as well with Mastodon. So you can see I'm posting there also. I have my account there. Of course, I post a little bit everywhere, but everywhere you are as well. Now, the next one is a little bit hard to see, but they've changed the Face ID animation a little bit so that it's slightly thicker as far as the overall design of it. You can see it side by side. It's a little bit different. It's very slight, but many people were pointing this out. Also with the lock screen, something that seems to be new is if you put in your password incorrectly multiple times, your phone will lock. So if we try that here, we'll slide up. It will prompt for Face ID. We'll give it just a moment, and we'll just put in the wrong password. So we'll try it again. And now it says iPhone unavailable. Try again in 1 minute. And there's a new link below there that says support.apple.com/iPhone/passcode. So that's something they've updated. Before there was no link. If we go into the Fitness app, this has been updated a little bit if we scroll down. So if we scroll to the bottom where we have awards, go into show more, scroll down even further, you'll see that we have Move Goal Awards, but they've actually added to this from 3,000 on. So if we scroll down here on iOS 16.3.1, it only goes up to 3,000. Now it goes 3,250 all the way up to 4,000. So that's something that wasn't there before that they've added. If we go into Twitter, you can see here that Aaron P613 says that iOS 16.4 has references to a new MagSafe charger with the model number A2580. And so that's something we could see in the near future. Now, before we talk about more additional features, I did want to mention this case, as many people have been asking about it. This is the Casecoo Magic Stand case, and Casecoo has sponsored this video. It comes in clear blue, deep purple, space black, and there are new clear purple, like I have here, and clear black cases too. The case protects your iPhone as well as adds grip and looks great. It has raised bezels around the screen and the camera, but also has a hidden stand built in. The stand allows for 40 to 120 degree angles and has a magnet in the ring of the stand that supports MagSafe accessories and charging. And I'll leave a link to Casecoo in the description so you can check them out, and be sure to use code Zollotech for a little bit of a discount. Now, the battery in iOS 16.4 is said to give us more information about how the always-on display actually affects overall battery life. So battery life, you'll see as we load here, it doesn't tell us any information about that, but there's messages in the code talking about always-on display. So if you're using that feature where it's on, like I am, that's something we should know how it impacts it a little bit more in the future. Now, one really good thing is if you're in a couple different countries, in addition to Turkey that I mentioned the other day, 5G support has come to a couple other countries as well, Morocco and Macau, according to different viewers that have let me know. So in your settings, if you go into your settings, go under cellular data options, go to voice and data, you should see 5G. Now, whether or not you have availability of this or access to it depends on whether or not you have cell towers that support it nearby or if your carrier has it. But it should be available, and it also should be available for Google Fi users in the United States. That's something that's being reported as well. Back within settings, if we go down to accessibility and then go under motion, there's a new option to dim flashing lights. It says video content that depicts repeated flashing or strobing lights will be automatically dimmed. The video timeline will display when flashing lights occur in the timeline for supported media. So if you want to turn that on, you'll now have that option. And also mentioned within the code, however it doesn't seem to be an option yet, is the option to have Siri repeat at a volume that you actually spoke to it at. So maybe you spoke to Siri at a certain volume, it will actually repeat that information back to you without being an increased or decreased volume. So that's something that we could see in the near future, or if you found that in the settings, let me know in the comments below. The other day I mentioned how Apple added some new shortcut actions. There's actually been another that's been found called auto answer calls. If we go into this, you can see we can have it auto answer a call and then set a variable of what you want it to do. This could be great for accessibility users as well if you need it to auto answer the call and then maybe speak what you want it to say. So that's something that's great, and if you found any more, let me know in the comments below. Now, additionally, if we go back into settings, if you're using satellite connectivity on an iPhone 14, 14 Plus, 14 Pro, or 14 Pro Max, it will give more information as to when satellites are going by. So it will now tell you in more detail when the next satellite is coming by if you're trying to get a connection. So you'll see here, if we do test satellite connection, I'm actually indoors, so this probably won't work, but we'll try it out here. It says looking for signal, satellite available soon. Track the satellite across the sky to send and receive messages. So it's giving me an idea of where it could be, and then it will tell me where the next one will be and help me sort of stay connected as needed. So that's great. It says preparing demo of emergency message. And if you haven't tried it, there we go. It will let us know if there's actually a satellite that's changing position and we need to repoint our phone. So we continually have to tilt this based on where the satellite is located. Within settings, if we go down to Wallet and Apple Pay, in Wallet and Apple Pay, there's a new option for compatible cards. It says verifies that your saved cards in Safari autofill are compatible with Apple Pay and allow you to use them in Wallet. So there's that option if you want to turn that on. It was on by default for me. Now there's even more in the code about features coming soon. So if we go over into our app library, let's search for Shazam. It looks like Shazam could soon let us know about an artist we're listening to and maybe different events that are taking place nearby. Now, this could be something we see in the future. However, there's new event logos found within iOS 16.4 and also the ability to add it to your calendar. So that's something we could see very soon. It may or may not be specific to Shazam, but it appears to be, at least from what I can see. Also in the future, it looks like accessibility users will be able to use Apple Maps and explore it sonically when holding the Options key on a keyboard. So this could be something that's specific to iPad or Mac. However, in the code, it looks like that could be something coming soon. Of course, in the code, we're getting ready for Apple Card savings accounts, updated CarPlay, Apple Music Classical we still haven't seen, and also iMessage contact verification. Those are all features we know are coming soon, but we haven't seen yet. All of the major features, though, I would expect with iOS 17 in June at WWDC. Every year, Apple releases a new update, at least for beta testers and developers, and we should see that usually within the first week of June. So once we have that, we'll know what's in the next version. I would expect all of the major features to be released with that update. Now, as far as bugs, still in iOS 16.3.1 and iOS 16.4, while I've been using both based on when they were released. So I used 16.3.1 for a few days and then 16.4. One of the things we're not sure about yet is the camera bug. We know it wasn't fixed with 16.3.1, where the iPhone 14 cameras, in particular the Pro and Pro Max, would sort of darken the image more than it did before. So let's go ahead and test that real quick. We'll just go ahead and snap a photo here and see if it looks the same as what's on the screen. So let me know if you think they look any different, if it's darkened, or if it looks like they've actually fixed it. And if you have experience with this, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Additionally, the notification bug is still there in both 16.3.1 and 16.4. When you scroll down or swipe down your notifications sometimes or swipe up, they're sort of square and then they go rounded in just a moment. It's pretty fast and hard to show because it happens so quickly, but it's something that I've seen over and over and doesn't seem to be fixed yet. So far, I haven't seen any slowdowns with either version, which is great, and it was just much better overall on 16.3.1. There was the occasional slowdown, but Bluetooth seemed to be fixed for me, so that was much better connecting to my vehicle, connecting to AirPods. It seemed to be much better. Let me show you. So here are AirPods 3. This is 16.3.1. Let's open it up, give it just a second to connect. Of course, it connects to 16.4 faster and then 16.3.1. That sometimes happens when there's a bunch of devices around, but it's pretty fast overall. So overall connectivity for Bluetooth has actually been great for me now. So iOS 16.2 Beta 1 was bigger than expected, and looking forward, iOS 16.4 Beta 2 should be coming up within probably 2 weeks at this point. So you'll see here, if we go back to this current week, probably within a couple weeks at this point. Not next week, but the week after probably is when we'll see Beta 2. Apple could change this. They could make it 3 weeks. They could make it half a week. We really don't know, as they're making a lot of changes with public releases and betas right now. So far, iOS 16.3.2 is not in testing yet that we know of from anyone's websites, but it could be in the works to fix a few bugs since we had it with tvOS 16.3.2 and HomePod OS updates. As far as maybe the public release of 16.4, probably in March sometime, possibly into April. It depends on if Apple has an event in March or what they're doing. Again, we don't know 100%. Now, before we talk about battery life, performance, and some of your comments in the YouTube community poll, I wanted to show you a new concept of an iPhone 15 that actually has a USB-C port and what it could look like. So here is actually a USB-C port that's claimed to be a titanium iPhone 15 Ultra from the bottom. It actually looks exactly like you would expect. And also here's some renders of what the next version could look like. So whether or not that's true, we don't know yet. We can expect an update for that in September, though, so it's a ways away, but Apple does finalize designs around this time. I wouldn't expect a huge departure from what we have now, though. As far as overall battery life, well, this phone in particular has used both 16.3.1 and 16.4. For me, if we go into battery health is at 98%. I showed you that the other day. You can see how many cycles here on the left using coconut battery, and that shows how many times I've used the phone, charged it fully, and discharged it, and I've explained that before. As far as overall battery life, well, it varies depending on what day, but it seems 16.3.1 is much better than 16.3. So overall, it's been good, and then 16.4 has been pretty good as well. Very similar to 16.3.1 for me. 4 hours and 31 minutes of screen active time, 11 hours of screen idle time. However, I don't know what it's doing as far as screen idle time. And it used about 65% of the battery. So it could be a little bit better, but I am using this for beta testing. I don't expect amazing battery life. As far as overall performance, it seems to be fine. Like I mentioned, occasionally there were slowdowns before. So far, I haven't gotten that swipe home bug. So if I play this song here, swipe home into the dynamic island, it's nice and fast. So far, it's quick, no issues, and hopefully it stays that way. But we'll know over the next week or so whether or not it's going to slow down. Now, if we go into YouTube, we'll take a look at the YouTube community poll. And as you can see at the time of this video, there's 10,000 votes and 195 comments. 43% of you say that 16.3.1 is better than 16.3. 6% say it's worse, 30% say it's the same. So 73% are saying that it's the same or better, which is a good thing. And then 21% have not updated yet. Now let's go ahead and see what you had to say. Matt T says iOS 16.3.1 on iPhone 14 Pro Max is running buttery smooth. Battery life is great. I can easily get through an entire day. No lag on Dynamic Island. Also, Wi-Fi seems to be improving. Looking forward to iOS 16.4. Rupesh says, I hope the future updates continue this trend and not go backwards. Definitely the smoothest update. I'm on 14 Pro Max. Still has its bugs and performance stutters, but way better than previous updates. And also 4 people liked that, so hopefully it's better for most. Gabriel said, performance and battery life is so much better on 16.3.1 than on 16.3. However, Cedric said, so many app freezes. Never had an issue with any other other 16 before this one is buggy. Alfredo says iOS 16.3.1 has definitely improved battery life, performance, and issues I was having with Siri and iCloud. Thankfully, iOS 16.3.1 fixed those issues, and right now my iPhone is in perfect shape. Thank you. And so that's everything with iOS 16.4 Beta 1 and iOS 16.3.1. I think iOS 16.4 is definitely bigger than expected and had many more changes than most people were expecting at this point. So it's great to see some changes, but I think most will be with iOS 17. Let me know if you've found anything else in the comments below, and of course, if you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, it will be linked in the description as it always is. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.